All right, we're here with Eddie Hearn, the king of British boxing.
Only British.
Well, we'll start with British. Now you're making your way.
Europe. Give me Europe.
Europe. I'll
Yeah,
give you
'cause
Europe.
obviously-
Now you're making your way to North America.
Yeah. Next time we do an interview next year, I'd like the global.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just know you want some ambition.
Yeah.
You want to keep
No,
striving
you're
for
right.
something.
No, you're right.
You want to
You're
keep
right.
striving for something. But what a big day here, Madison Square Garden. Let's talk about your guy first. You got a fighter named Rocky.
Yeah.
Fighting the biggest star in boxing at Madison Square Garden. Sounds like a movie to me. I think we've heard this one before.
Yeah, it's a Cinderella story, that's for sure. You know, Rocky Fielding has been a very good operator for British boxing for a while now. He got a chance to fight for a world title in Germany in a fight that he was an outsider in. He went there, he destroyed Zeuger in 5 rounds to become champion. And, you know, the phone went 2 weeks ago. And I didn't have to ask Rocky. I just had to do the best deal for him and you know, make sure that we didn't lose this opportunity because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He's fighting one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And, you know, he's here to win. He's got a massive size advantage, but we know it's a very, very tough fight. But, you know, like I said, he's at the stage in his career where no fear, you know, been away from home, in front of big crowds, boxing in front of big crowds in the UK, and ready for this opportunity.
Now you've done fights here in Madison Square Garden, maybe in the theater,
Yeah.
but this is the big room.
Sure.
This is a big fight. This is Canelo Alvarez, biggest name in boxing. What is the atmosphere going to be like come December? That big fight. Just take us through what's going to be like.
It's going to be great. You know, I mean, there's going to be a couple of thousand Brits travelling over as well, which will be great atmosphere. Rocky comes from a place called Liverpool, who are extremely passionate.
I think the Beatles are from
That's
there.
right, correct. And
See, I
you
know my
know,
stuff.
they're very, very passionate supporters. And you know, Rocky's fought in front of some great atmospheres. You know, he won't be overawed by that. You know, he's been to the Joshua shows, 80, 90,000. He's experienced that. So, you know, he's excited by this opportunity, not daunted. And all the activities this week have just helped him solidify his position and his confidence in this fight. He's coming in as a champion.
That's absolutely right.
And ultimately he's trying to defend his world title.
Two champions coming together. Let's talk about this DAZN deal now. This is a big thing. You guys talked about you had a stake and you talked business. Take us through how this all came about. I know that Canelo was one of the biggest free agents in the sport and one of the biggest free agents in all of sports. Now he's with DAZN. I know that you're not a figurehead of DAZN, but you're a big driving force behind it. So what was that meeting like? Ultimately nailing down Canelo, and what can we expect moving forward?
Yeah, it was a situation where, you know, as soon as HBO came out of boxing, I reached out to Eric Gomez actually, and you know, said, look, we'd love Canelo on the platform. Whoever Oscar and Golden Boy decided to go with, it wasn't just a case of bringing Canelo, it was a case of bringing their other fighters as well. So, you know, they talked to John Skipper, and, you know, those discussions about dates and stuff like that moving forward. We all flew to LA, we had a lovely meal and just talked about the strategy really more than anything. You know, this deal was done probably with, you know, DAZN and us, but ultimately with DAZN and Golden Boy getting this over the line with their extra dates. We couldn't give them dates because we need those for our fighters, but what we were desperate for as Matchroom and Eddie Hearn was for Canelo to be part of the platform because it changes the complete landscape of what we're trying to do. It changes the complete landscape of boxing in the US, in that pay-per-view boxing, I believe, will be finished in America
That's another
over
thing I
the
was
next few
asking.
years.
Yeah, pay-per-view model. I mean, it was Anthony Joshua, it was Canelo. It was becoming less and less pay-per-view stars in the world of boxing. Now with this deal, you have to think that the pay-per-view model is dying a very slow death.
There is no US pay-per-view star in boxing anymore, you know. And this new subscription-based service, which will be such a better financial deal for fight fans, will be the future, because you can't expect fight fans or the public to pay $85 or $100 for a fight. You know, we charge $25 in the UK for one of Joshua's big fights. You know, and again, it's, you know, it doesn't leave a great taste in the fans' mouth, but we have to do it. Now, with the launch of DAZN, Canelo is able to do a deal where he doesn't have to charge people that kind of money to watch him fight. In fact, the Rocky Fielding fight will be completely free to DAZN customers and anyone that signs up to DAZN in December. So it's a complete game changer in that respect. And, you know, I think it's going to start making fans realise that if there is a pay-per-view, I'm against it, because why would I spend $90 on a pay-per-view when I can get nearly a year's subscription on DAZN? And when we talk about DAZN, we're not just talking about Canelo Alvarez and Anthony Joshua. We're talking about 32 Matchroom fight nights a year. Now Golden Boy have dates as well. The World Boxing Super Series, 3 weight classes. You know, Bellator, Combat Americas, they'll be announcing other sports this week. And we also have to remember, DAZN is not a fight sports platform. It just is through launch. Very quickly, there'll be other sports that are added to the platform that are going to make this very attractive to the subscriber.
Now, some people want to know about the going past December for Canelo, and there's some names out there that come to mind. You know, maybe a fight with Danny Jacobs, who was with your stable. Maybe a fight with Demetrius Andrade, who's with your stable. Maybe B.J. Saunders once he settles everything that's going on him with the suspension. What are some names out there going down the line? Because we know that Canelo is going to bring the dates out there, and he's going to bring the fights. What are some other names we can talk about with Canelo?
Well, I think, firstly, if you're going to fight Canelo, you have to be with DAZN. So you have to look at the guys that are in the running. And interestingly, this Saturday, Demetrius Andrade goes for the WBO world title. Obviously, he's our fighter. He's a DAZN fighter. If he wins, he throws himself into that mix as well. Next Saturday, in here, Danny Jacobs fights Sergey Derevyanchenko for the IBF world title. You'd expect that he will end up being a DAZN fighter as well, with HBO going out of business. He, I think, is a real front runner for Canelo in the spring, in May. So there is a chance that in 10 days' time, every middleweight belt holder could be a DAZN fighter. And that's what we're looking to do across all the divisions. So the other people that are out there, I mean, you think about people like Charlo, you know, and these kind of guys, you can't win a middleweight world title unless you're with DAZN. You can't fight for one. So we're not trying to stop fights or block fights. We're just trying to say this is where you need to be.
So no joint deals potentially with a Charlo, say he secures a belt. He's got a belt. Canelo has a belt. You want to make that fight happen?
He can't. Yeah, but he can't get a belt. I mean, for Charlo to get a belt, he will have to fight on DAZN.
Right. They have all the belts.
Exactly.
The middleweights at least. The middleweights at least. Right.
So but we'd love Charlo on the platform.
Right.
But what this deal helps solidify is there's a lot of naysayers out there in boxing. A lot of people who are trying. I said out there, poo-poo what we're trying to do.
A lot of haters.
Will he get any star fighters? Okay, Anthony Joshua comes on. He opens the platform. Yeah, but you had now Canelo's joined the platform. You know, we're going to have another world champion, I believe, on Saturday in Demetrius Andrade. Danny Jacobs, Beterbiev looks great. So all of a sudden, the other fighters that are so close to making a move, but have these people in their ear saying, don't do it, don't do it. When Canelo signs an 11-fight deal, you better make sure that you pay attention. And this is a massive, massive deal for DAZN, for Golden Boy, and for Matchroom as well.
One last thing, Eddie. Now, with this deal with Golden Boy, they've secured dates for themselves. Is that going to be something where you kind of cross-promote Matchroom guys with Golden Boy guys to make great cards for the fans?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the aim of Golden Boy and DAZN and Matchroom is to make DAZN as big as possible, to have as many subscribers as possible. We will have fights on the card on December the 15th. They will probably have some slots on our shows. We will have slots on their shows. We'll be making fights together. So we have to work together in that respect. So, you know, I saw some people say, oh, is that coming out of your dates and your money? No, thank the Lord. But we want to bring as many promoters to the platform as possible. I'd like every promoter in boxing to be on DAZN, because then we've got every fighter in boxing on DAZN. And, you know, you'll quickly see the fights that are made between Matchroom and Golden Boy as well.
December 15th, we're going to see Canelo Alvarez, Eddie Hearn. You're becoming very acclimated with New York.
I know, I love it.
Your second home now? Getting on the subway?
I love it. I
can see you on the subway.
I'm going to Boston now.
Yeah.
And then I'll be here on Monday for Fight Week for Danny Jacobs.
So maybe the next time we talk, you'll be just the full king of boxing,
Exactly.
not just British.
Yeah, you're right. I need a challenge.
Okay. Thank you, Eddie Hearn.